Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The last 24 hours have been an example of sabka sath, sabka vikas and sabka prayas. On Hanuman Janmotsav, Shah Rasheed Ahmed Quadri, a veteran craft artist, was conferred with Padma Shi, but what turned out to be one of the highlights was the heartwarming exchange between Prime Minister Modi and Padma Shri Quadri. In his own words, Quadri claimed he had lost hope of ever getting the civilian award after the BJP came to power, but the Prime Minister proved him wrong. A clear stamp of approval for the pledge taken by the centre since 2014. Take a look at this heartwarming exchange and Quadri's Dil Ki Baat.
मेरे पीरियड में 5 साल तक अपने खिलाफ नहीं हुआ। इसके बाद वो खामोश बैठ गया कि बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट कही है हमको नहीं देती, मगर आप मेरा ख्याल गलत साबित करके मेरे को चुने, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं ना तो कांग्रेस के बाप का गुलाम हूँ ना तो और किसी के गुलाम हूँ। मैं मेरे दिल की बात बोला, मैं जो आया ना तो मैं किसी का ये हूँ। मैं जो भी बोलता हूँ मैं डंके की चोट पे बोलता हूँ, मेरे सामने कितना भी 30 मार खा होने दो।
And today, the centre gave protection to Shobha Yatras and Bhakts to celebrate occasion of birth of Lord Hanuman. Ram Navami in Howrah and Hooghly were marred by violence, and not just there. In Bihar, in Sasaram, we'd seen many violent sights. But today, on Hanuman Janmotsav, processions were carried out under the watch of central forces. Even in Delhi's Jahangir Puri, the devotees carried out the yatra with fervour under protection. Just yesterday, the top court gave a supreme snub to what the Prime Minister branded as an ecosystem of corrupt, and today he cited what drives him and his team to wage war on corruption. He said that the BJP has a can-do attitude like that of Lord Hanuman when it comes to fighting corruption. Listen in to the Prime Minister.
भाजपा हनुमान जी की एक और बात से भी बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा मिलती रहती है हमें। जब हनुमान जी को राक्षसों का सामना करना पड़ा तो वो उतने ही कठोर भी हो गए थे। इसी तरह जब भ्रष्टाचार की बात आती है, परिवारवाद की बात आती है, कानून व्यवस्था की बात आती है, तो भाजपा उतनी ही संकल्पबद्ध हो जाती है मां भारती को इन बुराइयों से मुक्ति दिलाने के लिए। कठोर होना पड़े तो कठोर भी होती है।
The Prime Minister was talking about law and order, fighting corruption, and also talking about sabka sath taken to everybody. But the award to Rasheed Quadri has left the Congress party unimpressed, some alleging match fixing just because elections are around the corner. Listen in.
मैं सिर्फ एक चीज कह रहा हूं कि भाजपा ने ये किया है। मैं पद्म श्री के लिए कुछ नहीं कह रहा हूं। उन्होंने परिस्थितियां ऐसी पैदा की हैं, वो ऐसा दिखा रहे हैं। पद्म श्री के खिलाफ मैं कुछ नहीं कह रहा हूं।
देखिए, सरकार ने उनको अवार्ड दिया है, लेकिन कादरी साहब ने मोदी जी को बहुत बड़ा अवार्ड दे दिया है, जिसकी चर्चा उन्होंने अपने ट्वीट के जरिए से की है। अब ये तो ट्वीट जो है सारी दुनिया में चलाया जाएगा और बताया जाएगा कि मोदी जी कैसे हैं। ये पब्लिसिटी स्टंट है, उसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं है।
Nothing wrong in that one. Nothing special the BJP has done, because everything has been scrutinized. There will be committee, and they'll take on a decision.
One Padma Award will give any credit nor will be insulted. It is only after effects of Padma, after receiving the Padma Award, he is making this statement. You should have made it earlier. It's all. What was they say? They should comment on the harassment for the minorities. The in and out, the lynchings are taking place. They speak on all kinds of things against minority, and now they want to gain sympathy. This is all crocodile tears.
Well, the BJP hit back saying that rumor-based image about BJP being created by the Congress party today stands crushed. Listen in to the war of words.
एक गलत इमेज बीजेपी के ऊपर पिछले 20-25 साल में हवा खड़ा कर दिया, एक इमेज, रूमर बेस्ड इमेज। जबकि प्रधानमंत्री जी बार बार बोलते हैं सबका साथ सबका विकास, और हम सब बार बार बोलते हैं वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स हमारा नहीं है। हर एक नागरिक भारतीय है, चाहे वो जिस भगवान को वो प्रार्थना करते हैं, हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
Then government who are influencing only the political and bureaucrats, they were getting Padma Award. In Modi regime, Prime Minister Modi's regime, common people who are doing real service, they are getting. This is the one example.
कांग्रेस का कालाकांड में उसका चेला लोगों को दे रहे थे। प्रधानमंत्री ऐसा कॉमन मैन को कौन समाज का सेवा किया है, उसको पहचान के उसको तो निकाल के अभी पद्मश्री दे रहे हैं। इसीलिए पद्मश्री का वो प्राइज का इज्जत ही बड़ा है।
So the legitimate question we're asking on the Newshour tonight, is the ecosystem still doubting sabka sath? That's the question and the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Jha, author, Professor Monojit Mondal, political analyst, supports the Trinamool Congress, Anurag Bhadoria, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Dr. Sumanth Raman, political analyst, joining the Newshour tonight. But my first question goes to my friend Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, the story of Mr. Quadri, Padma Shri Mr. Quadri, is extremely touching, and the reality just comes out in the most unexpected ways. Mr. Quadri applied for a Padma Shri way back in the UPA era, ends up getting it this time around in 2023, and he says, मैं तो उम्मीद खो चुका था, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमें बुलाया, हम अब होम मिनिस्ट्री जा सकते हैं। पहले तो होम मिनिस्ट्री में अंदर फाइल सबमिट करने घुसने नहीं दिया था, और अब पद्मश्री भी मिल गया। Doesn't this tell you a story of the fact that clearly the Padma Awards are people's awards, and those who say that the BJP is a communal party, or the Prime Minister is an absolutely vote catching machine, all of them have been proved wrong tonight?
Good evening, Navika. Look, in one stroke, Padma Shri Rasheed Quadri ji has exposed the fake propaganda of the Congress that Modi is anti-minority. What the BJP couldn't do in 8 years, Quadri ji has done in 8 seconds. Fact is, the Congress is a master at deception, while the BJP is a disaster at perception. Here is the hard data. Minorities before 2014, 20,000 skilled trained, 5% with government jobs, 3 crore scholarships, 70% girls' school dropout rate. Minorities after 2014, 2 million skilled trained, 10% with government jobs, 5 crore scholarships, free UPSC coaching, 30% girls' school dropout. In fact, Modi has given scholarships to more Muslims than Manmohan Singh did. Has Modi reduced AMU funding? No, in fact, he has increased it, including a 90 crore topping up, while our Muslim population is 14.2%. As many as 31.3% of homes under the Awas Yojana, 33% of funds under Kisan Samman Nidhi, and 36% beneficiaries under Mudra Yojana have been Muslims. Pradhan Mantri Shadi Shagun scheme, exclusively for Muslim girls who complete their graduation before marriage, they will get rupees 51,000, housing, skilling, scholarships, government jobs. No other Prime Minister has comparatively done more for Muslims than Modi. On the other hand, let us look at the condition of Muslims in a state that has never been ruled by the BJP and whose present and past chief ministers have gone out of their way to appease Muslims. Bengal. In Bengal, Muslims are poorer than any other community, with their population growing twice the rate of Hindus. According to the periodic labor force survey, only 13% Bengali Muslims have regular salaried jobs. Figure for India is 22.1%. 35% Bengali Muslims work as casual laborers. Figure for India is 24%. Muslims in Bengal earn 27 to 40% lower than Muslims in the rest of India. Muslims make up 30% of Bengal population, but only 7% of all university and college teachers in Bengal are Muslims. And if you discount madrasas, the figure is even more minuscule. Literacy rate for Muslims is 7% lower than the Bengal state average. After 40 years of non-BJP rule, after 40 years of rule by those who came to work for them. Another example of discrimination, Navika, is the Disturbed Areas Act, where a Muslim is forced to live in Muslim ghettos and not mix. And who brought it as a law? Yes, the Congress. But look at Muslims in BJP ruled Gujarat. Their rural per capita income is higher than Hindus. They occupy same percentage of higher government posts as their population share, 9%.
True.
This is from the Satcha report, just 10 seconds. Their literacy rate is 6% higher than national average. Navika, Muslims need to open their eyes and see Modi as a friend, not an enemy. Give him a chance and you will see that not only Padma Shri Quadri, but 230 million Indian Muslims will be proved wrong.
Well, so Dr. Sanjay Jha, do you actually believe that there is a message, and on a day when Rasheed Quadri ji gets the Padma Shri. I'm coming to you, Monojit Mandal. Monojit Mandal, I'll come back to you, sir. The debate just begun. Don't lose heart. Dr. Sanjay Jha, the question is, on the one hand, there is Rasheed Quadri, and on the other, Anil Antony. The BJP is clearly not a no-go area for minorities. How does the Congress respond to that, even though you are suspended from that party, despite your talents?
Navika, good evening to you and to the panelists and the viewers. You know, one swallow does not a summer make. And I don't want to comment on the theatrics or the histrionics, etc. of Mr. Modi. But here is only one data. You know, Anand rattled off in his usual style a whole lot of facts and figures that I'll have to fact check later on. But the truth is this: my one data cannot be contradicted. For the first time in our parliamentary history, you have a ruling party that doesn't have any representation whatsoever of the Muslims at all. And they constitute 14.8% of our country. That's nearly a population of 200 million people. But the BJP, led by Prime Minister Modi, has not deemed anyone fit to be a member of parliament. That, to me, Navika, is the luminous manifestation of the kind of minority politics that this
rapid fire. I must interject.
Number two, Dharam Sansads. Can we forget them? I don't want to even repeat the outrageous, ugly hate of genocide that was propagated there. And we saw a still studious silence.
Is one allowed to interject on rapid fire?
Number three, bully by a very nasty campaign run on the internet, where they talked about actually, you know, doing a barter and exchange of Muslim women on apps. I want to know who's been arrested. I want to know what actually.
I also want to know, Dr. Sanjay Jha. No, Dr. Sanjay Jha. I also want to know how many of the congressmen are arrested when they troll various people in 1 minute, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. You've spoken a long time, and I have National Party's spokesperson here waiting for his turn. Just hold on. Dr. Sanjay Jha, you're saying one swallow doesn't make a summer. Well, I counted 2, so your mathematics is wrong. Anil Antony is also a swallow of today. And if you're saying there are no minorities, or if you consider only Muslims as minorities, then Hardeep Singh Puri, is a cabinet minister, has many portfolios, and is a Sikh. But that apart, the question Shehzad Poonawala is, ये अब भी doubt करेंगे because they will always be the naysayers saying that Quadri साहब ने कहा it's just a publicity stunt, or it's just one case. How do you respond?
See, first of all, to all your viewers, a happy Hanuman Janmotsav, and on Hanuman, not just Hanuman, but also Musalman, and not just Kadri, but even Padri. And I'm not talking about Anil Antony, I'm talking about the Syro Malabar Church church priest, who has also endorsed his support for BJP. So from Kadri to Padri, from Hanuman to Musalman, I'll tell you why. Because when Modi sends a scheme for Sandra, he sends a scheme for Samantha, he sends a scheme for Supriya, he sends a scheme for Sultana. All of them get it. Sanjay also gets it, and Sultan also gets it. And that is the magic of Modi. And let me give you a few examples of this. Today, what has happened? What has Mr. Kadri said? Let's analyze it very specifically. Mr. Kadri has first said that Congress only fools us. They never do anything for Muslims. They use and throw us. That's what they have done for so long. All the indices that Anand has rightly quoted. Secondly, the BJP, there was a dharana about the BJP that the BJP is like this and BJP is like that because of that ecosystem of Islamophobia, but that is not the case. Modi has dispelled that entire narrative. And thirdly, the lobbying for Padma has stopped, and has become people's Padma, and therefore Navika, right from the person who is Bidri craft expert to the lady who has worked for tribals, all of these people who are unsung people are today occupying the highest positions also as people's president. They are also getting the people's Padma, and this is the people's prime minister doing it. But let me make one point. Pramod Tiwari says, and he's made very disgusting comments, and I think that's a comment against Karnataka and its pride and its culture. He says that Mr. Kadri has been tutored. उनको बताया गया है और उन्होंने बोल दिया. That means you are doubting his integrity, you are doubting his art, you are doubting his culture, and you are insulting the people of Karnataka after insulting the OBC Samaj. And one point, fact check. Now, you have spoken about Hardeep Puri ji. We do have a Muslim MP. His name is Ghulam Ali Khatana because he's a Pasmanda. Sanjay Jha and his elites will never recognize the Pasmandas for 70 years. Now, please let me complete, Sanjay. Let's have a civilized way. You
Navika, not to you.
No, but you are interrupting me. You're not interrupting Navika. So stop.
Okay, complete your point.
You know, problem is, this kind of behavior is allowed on your show.
No, complete your point. Complete your point. He's waiting. Sanjay Jha, please, just 10 seconds. Wait for you.
Yes. Now let me put some facts on the table. The fact of the matter is, from the first Lok Sabha to the 14th Lok Sabha, the representation of Muslims in Parliament has been a paltry 5.3% as opposed to the population of 14%. And it was not the BJP who did that. It was the Congress, because they gave preference to winnability. By the way, in Gujarat, in no election, especially after 1995, 1995 is when Modi was not even on the scene, the Gujarat Congress has given more than 10 seats to the Muslims, whereas their population is 10%, so they should get 18 seats. Why haven't they given representation to Muslims? Which chief minister of any state apart from Jammu Kashmir in the last 30 years has been a Muslim? And forget that, for the last 35 years, Samajwadi Party, Bahujan Samaj Party, Congress Party, JDS, DMK, which of these parties have had a Muslim as their president? If they are so concerned, they should make a Muslim their president of the party. From one family they make. And then they talk about Muslims. They have only given riots. And by the way, Sanjay Jha city, of riots, Mumbai, they accused whom? They accused Uddhav Sena. Today they are in the lap of Uddhav Sena.
Well, Dr. Sanjay Jha, rebut.
Yeah. Navika, very quickly. The Prime Minister, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat following the 2002 riots, said, Hum panch, hamare 25. That is inclusive secular politics. Give me a break. The more important point here that nobody can ignore, representation. You are finding today a situation where the Muslims, and I would say even the Christians, people are feeling disenfranchised. Look at Uttar Pradesh. There is an 18% population of Muslims in Uttar Pradesh, and they don't find more than one MLA for a seat to even contest an election. And all this talk about sending people to Pakistan, you can look at the lynching in Karnataka.
You know, Dr. Sanjay Jha, then you must also listen to what Ghulam Nabi Azad said in his interview to me about how Muslims were treated by the Congress. Yeah. And it will be an eye-opener simply because he says 15-point program, 20-point program is what was done in various Congress governments. But when it came to creating a minorities finance commission, they didn't do it. They didn't empower or lend money or allow Muslims to actually have a business of their own. So just some soul searching would help you.
Just one line.
I would add the lynching in Karnataka.
Just one line specifically.
1 minute, Dr. Sanjay Jha.
Hum panch, hamare 25. This controversial and alleged statement, if it has been targeted, it has not been said that for particular community. And I don't know where the statement was made, but I'm taking on record. Then why is the same person not offended with Hindu terror? Why is the same person not saying anything that when Hindutva is compared to ISIS and Boko Haram? This is the one-eyed secularism. Ramzan mein no Musalman does anything.
Absolutely.
All the onus is on Hindu.
And when there is
is kosher.
And when there is no action taken against people who say Modi teri kabr khudegi, and then talks about hate speeches elsewhere and no action being taken, well, Dr. Sanjay Jha, let's see the writing on the wall. Dono taraf there are enough people who are the offenders, so let's not go that road. Let me get in Monojit Mandal. Monojit Mandal, on Hanuman Janmotsav, let me ask you, today everything went fine. Yes. People came out with their Shobha Yatras in Bihar, in Bengal and in Delhi. But they came for their yatras with the pickets and with protection. The question is, you can't just get away by saying, oh, the BJP is fomenting trouble. The fact of the matter is, law and order must be maintained. Today, these processions went through Jahangirpuri, again known as a Muslim-dominated area in Delhi, but there was peace, there was calm, there was no problem over there. And everything, the religious fervor was there, just as there was, during the Ramzan month. So law and order, schemes, delivery of work and projects, and sabka sath. If Narendra Modi ticks all the boxes, what is the vision the opposition has?
नो सबका साथ बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन कपड़ा देख के पता चलता है ये लोग कौन है. Those people who are agitating against CAA, which is directed against a particular community, the Muslims, and the Prime Minister says the कपड़ा देख के पता चलता है ये लोग कौन है. And then you are talking about how reassuring it is because one person is getting Padma Shri.
But CAA
point number one.
Mamta Didi bhi kehti hai. And then Mamta Didi bhi kehti hai कि Shobha Yatra should not go through Muslim areas.
Let me. I'll call you out in a second. Say about your love for minorities and Muslims. Not a single cabinet minister in the cabinet of Miss BJP. One person as Dwar, he was driven out, Mr. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi.
He is a minority.
And he go to Bangladesh, the country that you always acknowledge. There are 3 Hindu ministers in Bangladesh cabinet. Bangladesh, I am talking about the Muslims.
Only Muslims are minorities. What Sikhs are not minorities? Jains are not minorities. Buddhists are not minorities. What are you saying,
I'll call you out in a second.
You have declared only Muslim as minority.
Who is saying
not
that?
Not Sikhs.
Who is
not
saying
Christian.
that?
Batao.
Who is saying that?
But you said no minority minister, and she has opened with her statement that Hardeep Puri is there. The MOS minority affairs is a Christian.
Who is saying that? Who is saying that?
Why have you reduced minority to Muslims?
You are talking about satisfying the Muslims, na?
No.
Sabka sath.
No.
How many minority ministers do you have in your cabinet? How many? 1, 2 maximum? Oh, how many? One or two?
Muslim presidents has TMC had?
Shame on you.
How many Muslim presidents
of TMC? Bangladesh, 3 minority ministers in
president
Bangladesh cabinet.
TMC का कितना मुस्लिम प्रेसिडेंट बना?
Come and see 14.
Come and see what? TMC का एक ही प्रेसिडेंट है, ममता दीदी. बताओ.
And
TMC का कितना प्रेसिडेंट बना है मुस्लिम?
You do not know.
President of TMC.
You do not know. Come and see. You are, look at how uncourteous you are lecturing about not intervening. Now you're intervening because you are rattled.
You speak.
Look at the kind of shameless person you are.
Yes, sir, I'm very shameless.
Some moments ago lecturing.
Let's use parliamentary language. Let's not take. You may have counterpoints, but you can't be. You can have counterpoints, but let's keep our language under control, Monojit Da. Monojit Da, let's keep our language under control. Anand Ranganathan coming to you.
Every other second is muzzling my voice. How can I make the counterpoint?
Bolo dada.
He should not lecture about others, right? Let me come to this point. Minority Financial Commission, Bengal government first. 1 crore fellowship for the minorities, Bengal government first. You are only copying the government of West Bengal. Even on other schemes, you are copying the government of West Bengal. And last but not the least, you are talking about Muslim-dominated area right now, Navika ji. And the same thing when Mamta ji said minority-dominated area 7 days ago, you went there with the intent of harming them. If you talk about reassuring them when they are celebrating Ramzan, go with the hands to shake them, not with the intent to harm them. You are not going to that particular area in Howrah.
I have not gone, sir.
but
I have not gone there, sir. Please do not make allegations against me. I'm sitting here doing my job, but Anand Ranganathan, you know, look, I'm coming to you. Anand Ranganathan.
Why are you saying it's you? I'm not saying.
Tumi bolcho, Dada. You have gone there. You have gone there. What do you mean by you, sir?
The most hypocritical
No,
party
in fact,
in this country.
if I may just have one line.
Please, I've been waiting for a while.
Why the Prime Minister? You means not you. Are you BJP? You are
No,
not
I'm-
representing BJP. I do not think you are representing BJP. You means BJP. That's my way of saying. I'm not addressing you, madam. I'm
Okay.
not addressing you.
Okay.
You meaning the BJP.
Thank you for
because I'm
clarifying.
BJP, I guess.
Thank you for clarifying.
You are not representing BJP.
Thank you for clarifying.
You are an absolutely bipartisan journalist. Yeah, you are an
No,
absolutely
this is very
bipartisan
offensive.
journalist.
Just one line, Anand, just one line.
let
This is
me
very
make my
offensive.
point, final
On the
point.
one hand, the Chief Minister
CAA,
says,
when the
on the
protest
one
was
hand, the
going
Chief
on,
Minister says
you
that Ramzan, no
targeted
Muslims do
Jamia
anything
Millia.
wrong. On the other hand, he says that you have gone there with the intention to harm them. That means Ram Navami Yatra is an intention to harm somebody. Ram Navami on Hindus are intending to harm
Those are
somebody.
the secular thoughts, but Anand Ranganathan, you've given him all the statistics of Bengal and what has been done in Bengal for Muslims. And here we are getting lectures. Anand Ranganathan, respond to Monojit Bondo.
Which you could not implement till now.
Monojita, please. Professor, yes. Thank you. Navika, as I said, I gave 21 facts.
Why did you
I
tell those
Monojit Mondal, you cannot interrupt everybody all the time. You've spoken. Now there is a counter. That's the way a debate is held. Please listen to the counter. Yes, Anand.
Answer my question. Very simple.
I'm the only minority in this debate, by the way. You do realize that, but you've not let us speak.
Okay. All right. Anand.
I'm a bigger minority than Shahzad, being a Darwinian atheist. But no, Navika, first of all, can I please gently rebuke you? You were offended by Professor Monojit Mondal's language, and you said
that is fake one. This is a fake.
Monojit, this is very unfair.
Monojit Mondal, I'm lowering your fader. I'm lowering your fader because you're interrupting every single sentence spoken by somebody else. That's not the way a debate can be conducted. Anand Ranganathan.
Thank you. No, Navika, I was about to rebuke you by saying that when you were castigating Professor Mondal for using and said let us use parliamentary language, I must warn you that some of the TMC MPs' parliamentary languages begin with the letter H. So please let us not use parliamentary language in this debate. That will be even worse. No, but couple of points here. Look, I come prepared for these debates. इतनी तैयारी मैं अपनी शादी में भी करके नहीं गया था जितनी मैं debates में आता हूँ. 21 facts दिए मैंने. 21 facts. कोई counter नहीं कर पाया. और I agree with Shahzad. Muslims are not the only minority. There are umpteen number of minorities who are represented well in the BJP. To give you an example, in Goa, the Christian population is 25%. 30 MLAs of BJP are Christians. What do you say to that? And I just have one question to ask both my great friends, Professor Mondal and Sanjay Jha. They are talking about non-existent Muslim representation being an indicative that BJP hates Muslim. I want to ask them, the Indian population of homosexuals is 5%. That is 70 million Indians are homosexuals. Are there any homosexual Congress MPs and MLAs or TMC MPs and MLAs? Does that mean that Congress is against homosexuals and TMC is against homosexuals? Say it. Bolo.
Let's let that.
Navika,
you want to
Navika,
take that question, Sanjay Jha?
Yeah, very quick response. Anand, have you heard the Supreme Court on the government's, ignoring of hate speeches in India?
Please answer.
Do you know that fact?
Pointed question.
It has called.
I asked you a pointed question.
Important. It is a very serious indictment. It says you are powerless. You are allowing hate to fester. You are allowing the policy of divide.
That is absolutely true.
Politically
that
divide
is
India.
absolutely true because
You
the
realize
government
that?
is allowing.
And your statistics have no meaning.
Please.
Your
The government is allowing.
Because here
the
is a
government is
political
allowing
party
amplification
that is saying
of
segregation is
phrases like Hindus are
It
the
is
worst of
dividing
creatures.
India. Inspired by
The government is
British policy of
impotent.
divided
Even you are impotent.
Well. 1 minute. Let's get the debate back on track. We can talk about umpteen observations of the Supreme Court. We can bring out anything out of the context and talk about it. But let me get in Mr. Anurag Bhadoria. Bhadoria ji and Dr. Sumanth Raman, I'm coming to you. Dr. Bhadoria ji, सवाल इस बात का है कि अगर किसी मुसलमान ने यूपीए के समय में, जब आप भी सपोर्ट करते थे, एक्टिव पैसिव वो आप तय कर लीजिए, लेकिन आप भी सपोर्ट करते थे उस सरकार को, तब उसने अप्लाई किया, ना जवाब ना चिट्ठी। आज वो अगर आकर कह रहा है कि इस सरकार में मुझे ये मिला, मेरे दिल की एक तमन्ना पूरी हुई, मुझे रिकग्निशन मिली, तो इसको आप अच्छी बात नहीं मानते और इसके लिए आप प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को बधाई देना चाहेंगे?
सबसे पहले मैं हनुमान जी के जन्मोत्सव पर सबको बधाई देता हूं और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आप भी बजरंगबली को मानते होंगे।
बिल्कुल।
तो मेरे साथ न्याय होगा। वैसे न्याय हुआ नहीं, बजरंगबली तो न्याय पे विश्वास करते थे। 30 मिनट बाद आप आए हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि मेरे साथ तो अन्याय हुआ, वो भी बजरंगबली वाले दिन। सवाल ये नहीं है, सवाल ये है कि हर चीज़ पे राजनीति क्यों? मुझे समझ में नहीं आया सवाल, क्योंकि हर बात पे राजनीति क्यों? भाई पद्म भूषण अवार्ड मिला है, हम उन्हें बधाई देते हैं, और जिनको मिला है, जो सरकार दे रही है, ठीक है, लगा सरकार को कि पद्म अवार्ड देना चाहिए तो पद्म अवार्ड दिया उन्होंने, तो उसमें मुझे लगता है दिक्कत कहाँ है, मुझे ये बात समझ में नहीं आई। भारतीय जनता पार्टी क्या कहना चाहती मुझे ये भी नहीं समझ में आया। भाई जब अवार्ड सरकार दे रही है तो ठीक है, सम्मान कर रही है, तो उसको बधाई, हमने उसको बधाई दी, आप भी बधाई दीजिए, तो इसमें दिक्कत का मुझे वो नहीं समझ में आई। मुझे अभी तक समझ नहीं पाया कि किस बात पे डिबेट हो रही थी।
प्रमोद तिवारी ने कहा कि ये बयान जो है दिलवाया गया बयान है, हमने नहीं किया आपत्ति, प्रमोद तिवारी ने किया। हम तो मुलायम सिंह यादव जी को भी मानते हैं, हमने तो मुलायम सिंह यादव जी को भी सम्मानित करने का काम किया है, ये हमारी संस्कृति है। यही इसी श्रृंखला में जब कादरी साहब का सम्मान हुआ तो आदरणीय परम आदरणीय स्वर्गीय मुलायम सिंह यादव जी का भी सम्मान हुआ, पर प्रमोद तिवारी ने कहा कि जो भी अवार्ड मिले हैं ये दिलवाए गए हैं। आप मानते हैं सर?
भाई दूसरों के बीच में नहीं बोलते, ये भी तो संस्कृति है।
अनुराग भदौरिया जी, सवाल नहीं, पॉलिटिकल कंट्रोवर्सी, और मैंने सोचा आप 20 पार्टियां आज मार्च करके संसद से विजय चौक गई थी काले कपड़े पहनकर, तो मुझे लगा आप भी वही थॉट्स रखते हैं जो कांग्रेस पार्टी के, इसीलिए मैंने आमंत्रित किया आपको कि अगर आपके ऐसे थॉट्स हैं तो शेयर करिए। आप समझते हैं कि ये अच्छा किया और बधाई देनी चाहिए, तो मैं कह रही हूं कि जिनको मिला उन्हें भी बधाई और जिन्होंने दिया उन्हें भी बधाई दे दीजिए। आगे बढ़ते हैं फिर मोदी जी को बधाई।
नहीं तो भाई तो आप आगे बढ़ कहां रही हैं भाई? हमने तो दिक्कत ये,
चलिए आज समाजवादी पार्टी का हृदय परिवर्तन हो गया।
अब दिक्कत ये है कि एक वाक्य कमाल है भाई किसी को भाई देखिए, सुन तो लीजिए, एक बार सुन ले लीजिए।
नहीं, प्रमोद तिवारी जी कह रहे हैं कि जबरदस्ती कादरी साहब से बुलवाया गया, जबरदस्ती कादरी साहब से बुलवाया गया है, ये पब्लिसिटी स्टंट है। आप मानते हैं हाँ या ना? हाँ या ना, फिर मैं आगे बढ़ जाऊंगी।
तो मैं तो ये बोलता हूँ
ये पब्लिसिटी स्टंट था।
आगे आप बढ़ ही नहीं रही ना, दिक्कत है।
नहीं, पब्लिसिटी स्टंट था। आप कांग्रेस के राज्यसभा सांसद से सहमत है?
बात ही नहीं सुनेंगे तो फिर कैसे?
तो आपको तो कहना ही नहीं है ना।
मैं कह रहा हूं आप आगे बढ़ जाएंगे तो डिबेट ही खत्म। अरे सुन तो लीजिए ना, आप आगे बढ़ जाएंगे तो डिबेट ही खत्म हो जाएगी, आगे तो आपको भी नहीं बढ़ना है। अरे कादरी साहब इसको सबसे अच्छी तरह बता सकते हैं, कादरी साहब से पूछिए, कादरी साहब बता देंगे इस बात को।
मैंने अभी टाइम्स नाउ नवभारत पर कादरी साहब के साथ इंटरव्यू किया था और उन्होंने कहा कि उन्होंने अप्लाई किया था यूपीए के जमाने में, ना चिट्ठी ना संदेश, कुछ नहीं आया और अब उनको मिला। पर अगर आपको कुछ नहीं कहना तो अच्छी बात है। पहली बार आई हैव सीन अ नेता ऑफ अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी who has nothing to say but you've lost your chance. सुमंत सी रामन, मिस्टर प्रमोद तिवारी says this is a publicity stunt. अगर सबका साथ सबका विकास होता है तो भी पब्लिसिटी स्टंट है, माइनॉरिटी रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं होती तो भी पब्लिसिटी स्टंट है, और अगर अनिल एंटनी और रशीद कादरी दोनों सेलिब्रेट होते हैं तो भी पब्लिसिटी स्टंट है। Do you think Congress is losing the plot?
No, I don't think they're losing the plot at all. I mean, as Sanjay Jha just said, the fact that there is not a single member in the Lok Sabha from the BJP, from the Muslim community, it says a lot. And by the way, I was very intrigued to see, I think Dr. I think it was Shehzad, who said last 30 years there have been no Muslim chief ministers. He chose the period very wisely outside Jammu and Kashmir. And he chose the period very wisely because when he said 50 years, then the names of those like A.R. Antule or Anwar Taimur and others would have come into the picture, Mohammad Koya and others would have come into the picture. So I think that very carefully by, selectively quoting data, and most of them were Congress chief ministers or Congress supported chief ministers. So let us be very clear. One, you said two swallows. I will take it as two swallows. Anil Anthony being the other swallow. They certainly do not make a summer. And I think that representation is one part. And if we talk of representation, immediately the examples would be quoted would be the example of perhaps Mr. Ramnath Kovind or the representation given to the tribals through the Rashtrapati at present and so on. But that's not the point. The point is what has been done to rein in the quote-unquote Hindutva outfits like the Bajrang Dal and so many other outfits. Almost every other day there are horror stories which are being put out in the media. Why have these not been stopped? And I think that really is, if there's one important question that desperately needs an answer, and that needs an answer from a person no less than the Prime Minister, is why he has not stopped these attacks from continuing virtually every other week in some
but
state
you
or the
haven't
other.
answered the question on why he couldn't stop people who say, मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी. वो तो internal matter है, वो भी नहीं stop हुआ, but respond. Shehzad is responding. Shehzad is responding to your question.
Anand, please.
Shehzad is responding to your question, Sumanth Raman.
Anand, please, let me also.
I give you 10 seconds. Please give me 10 seconds.
But then you'll start a whole new can of worms, bhai. When has your 10 seconds ever ended in 10 seconds, bhai? I know your 10 seconds is 10 minutes. Anyways, go for it.
But mera simple I want to put it on record that on Miss Navika Kumar's show, my question remained unanswered. My question was very simple. Is Congress and is the TMC homophobic, given that 5% of Indian population is
taken on record, no response, Shehzad.
First of all, I don't know why the existence of Ghulam Ali Khatana, who comes from the Gujar Samaj, is constantly being denied. He's been made a Rajya Sabha MP, but people don't want to acknowledge it. Secondly, the period why I chose that 30-year period, Sumanth Raman ji, is because I'm choosing the post-Babri period. Because that is when you said, no, the BJP has come to rise, and you are the counter of secular politics. So when you are the counter of secular politics, what has your acharan been? Your acharan has been that not a single chief minister, not a single party president in the last 30-35 years outside Jammu and Kashmir has been done by any of these so-called surmas of secularism. Now, third point, you are talking about statements, sir. I'll talk about the lynchings, the biggest riots, Hashipura, Bhagalpur, Meerut, Malyana, Mumbai, Delhi. When did they take place? Under whose watch did it take place? And Sumanth Raman, the Mumbai riots took place. It was Uddhav Sena's family that was accused, and today the Congress is with them. And the Congress has adbhut secularism. On one end, they are with IUML, on the other end, they are with IFS, and on the third end, they are with Uddhav Sena. क्या गजब का secularism है. And fourth point, last point. Look, you are talking about.
I'm completely out of time on this debate because the question is, the naysayers never see what the people of India are saying, because it's a war now no longer between political parties on this side or that. It's a war of narratives. A narrative that is built, where facts don't matter, just a narrative that is peddled. Because if you talk about real people, then you heard what Rasheed Quadri had to say tonight. And also, you see at least 2 elections when the Prime Minister has got the trust of the people of India, because his schemes are possibly reaching those who they are meant for. Isn't that the biggest test of his commitment to sabka sath, sabka vikas? Well, think about it. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.